angular structural directives. Structural directives are, we have three important structural directives. One, we have ng if. Another one, we have ng switch. And we have ng for. Only these three. Only these three are there. So many times people ask like, sir, only three are there. How many you want? Only three are there means what you think? One we need for adding, another we need for removing, another we need for iterating. Why you are expecting million, 1,000, 10,000, 500, 20, 30? What work you have to do? Adding element, for that one function, removing element, one function, for iterating, repeating element, another. That's what you need. Right? That means because many times people have doubt like only these three are enough. That is what the work we are expecting. Na? What work you are expecting? Adding one function enough, removing another function enough, repeating another function enough. That means here the work is simple. We will see what is if, what is switch, what is for here. These are different from your language concepts. These are different from language because these are related to controlling the DOM structure. That means they are not exactly the same how you think in your language if condition. Here their behaviors are little different. What are those? Let's see. First, we will see today how we can deal with ng if. How we can use ng if. What is the purpose of ng if and how we can deal with ng if. Actually, it's simple. It is a what type of directive? Structural directive. Good. It is a structural directive. It is a structural directive. What it can do is it can add element to page or remove element from page. That's what ngIf can do. It can add the element, it can remove the element. Actually, it uses a Boolean value or expression. It uses a Boolean value or expression. Directly you can use Boolean value or you can use any expression that returns Boolean value. An expression that returns Boolean value or directly Boolean value. So how you are expecting, suppose there is a div. And here we are defining, and one more point I will tell here first. Another point is actually structural directives are added to HTML elements by using asterisk. They are added to HTML elements by using asterisk. And one more, that means asterisk means like this. We have to use asterisk ng if. And it uses so a true or false Boolean value, or it can use a Boolean expression. That means it can use any expression, but which kind of expression? Boolean expression. Boolean expression. It can use Boolean expression that returns Boolean. That's how actually it can manage. This is ng if. And one more important rule you have to know is actually structural directives are added by using asterisk. By using asterisk, we have to add the structural directive. Another point is every element can have only one structural directive. Can have only one structural directive. When you are adding any structural directive, make sure that there is no another structural directive for that. That means suppose I am adding here ng what if, and here I am adding again ng suppose for, like this. So this is invalid. You cannot have two structural directives for one element. There can be only one. There can be only one. Inside that you can have another. That means nested can be there, but multiple cannot be there. Nested means what I will show you, but you cannot add a structural directive to any element if it is already having a structural directive. If any structural directive is already there, you cannot add, right? That is important. Now let's see simple concept here. Actually, simple point here, how this works in our example. Let's see our example. In this example, product details are coming, and the product details have title, price, preview, and rating. Now, for example, product description is present. Every product has some description that we are not presenting here. That means you see here the fake store component. It is using a contract where description is present, category also present, but these two ID also present, but all we are not displaying. We are displaying only few things. Now I want anybody to watch its details, description, but only when they want it necessary. That means we will display the description only when he wants to see the description. That means in general, your HTML JavaScript combination, you might have hidden and displayed. That means if we don't want any screen, then generally what we do, we hide it. After that, we display it. For that, we apply dynamically styles. Generally, that is the basic practice we do in JavaScript. Any block we don't want to show, we hide it. Again, we display. But when you hide, it is still present in the page, only that it is not shown. Is any burden for page reduced? Burden for page is not reduced. You hidden a box which contains 50 lines presentation. By hiding that, nothing will happen to page. Only it is not displayed. Page burden is not reduced. If you remove the 50 lines, then page burden is reduced. It will become lightweight. So that's what ngIf can do. ngIf can add any component, means add any block. It can remove any block. It is not showing and hiding. It is adding and removing. For example, see now, let's go to HTML page. What I will do is here, these are all actually product details. So here I will put a container div. And for this, I will give a class called description. That is the container description. And here we want to display a simple text area. You know, text area. Text area will have rows as some 4, calls as some 30. Like this, I given text area. 30 or 40 something text area. Now, actually, this is text area I will keep disabled. Disabled because user just need to see its information, not to submit or do anything. That means you see in the output, there is a text area here. This text area, I want right side. somewhere right side I want to display. Then I will go to the fake store CSS. Here I will write class what? Description. So we keep position as fixed and left as 300 pixel and the top as some 200 pixel. Then you can see its position is here. Its position is here, right side. Now inside this, I want to display inside the description here. I will just put here a simple binding expression. We are displaying product. So product dot what description. Description we are adding. And you can see the product description have to load here. So when we are accessing, it will get that and display. Some problem. Yeah, it took some time. You see the description is here. That means this is the description about that product. Now I click on second product, automatically second product details will come. I click on third product, the third product details will come. The details will be changing. This description area, I don't want always. I want only when he wants to see it. Suppose we want to remove this now. Then what we will do is, for that description area, we will put a directive ng if. I will put false, means Boolean false. Boolean false, you can see that it is not there. Not there means hidden. No, not hidden. It is removed. It is removed. Actually, suppose instead of this, I am using style. Display as none. When I say style display none, it is not there. But you see, inspect. In the inspect, let's go to the category divs. And you can see, where is it? The description is there. Am I right? The description is there, but it is not shown in the page. The description is there, but it is not displayed in the page. Text area present. So this is what your HTML JavaScript can do. But this is not reducing any burden on my page. Then what I will do is, instead of this, we will use what ng if what it is false. Then you can see it is there here. Let the content open and you can go here. You can go to this division and you can see here the product details. And here it is showing you some bindings are there, which are, it is just a comment. It says that here something is missing. Not missing, it is saying that here some content will be later added. Will be added. That means currently it is not there. It is not there. You can see there is no text area now in the page. Is it hidden? No, it is not hidden. It is removed. Okay, let's set it to true. I will set it to true. When I set it to true, now you can see in the fake store that again that division came, description came. Na? The description came and what it is having? Text area. So this is not showing, this is actually adding. What is the speciality of ng if is? It is going to add and remove. So what false will do? So Boolean false will remove element from page. And Boolean true will add element to page. Element to page. So just we have to write like this. So ng if is equal to false. If I write like this, that means this div will be what? It is removed. It is removed. So, and if I write true and I define ng if it is true, then what it is? So it is added. This is added to page. Added to page. That is the Boolean true and false. So why it is called a structural directive and what is its role? It is called as a structural directive because it can control the DOM structure. And it will add or remove elements from the page. Okay. Now, how to control this dynamically? How you can control this dynamically? That's your wish. You can write a logic for that. You can change the Boolean true to false, false to true by using your logic. Let's do that. We can use MVC approach. We can use MVVM approach, anything. For example, see what I'm doing now here. Now I want this box to show and hide based on one simple heading. Here I will keep a container. Here I will add. So view description. And here I will add a checkbox. Input type is equal to checkbox. Now the concept is when user selects the checkbox view description, then only it should display. When I remove that, it should be hidden. That means we need to just show and hide on the checkbox. I will change this checkbox to form switch. And here we need to make it as class as form check input. Now automatically it will change to a switch here. So we are changing this to a, and here just we need to turn on, right? That means now what we have to do is we learned two-way binding, MVC, MVVM approach. Here simple. How to make this checkbox dynamic? To make the checkbox dynamic, we have to add ng model. How to collect the value of the checkbox and store? We need a reference. What is the reference name? Any name. So that means toggle description. Understood? Toggle description is a ID reference. Now model should use this ID reference, ng model. We learned MVVM approach na. In MVVM approach, every element is marked with ng model, and whatever values are coming in that collect by using this reference name. So ng model will use that reference where the data is stored about this checkbox. Now this ng model, what is it? Toggle description, what it may return, what value it will return, because it is a checkbox. Already I told you in MVVM, if it is a text box, it will return value. If it is a checkbox, it will return Boolean true or false. Because checkbox returns checked property, na? Checked true or false. So that means the value of checkbox will be true or false. The value of text box will be string. that will be string. Value of drop down will be string. But the value of checkbox and radius will be true or false. So the value of this will be true or false, which I need to apply to this area. Na? That means this true false coming from which location? Toggle description dot value. That's it. We are simply applying that there. Toggle description comes from checkbox. If checkbox is on, it is true. If checkbox is off, it is false. Now you can see here, simple, it is not displaying the description. I turn on view description, it will come. I turn off view description, it will be hidden. That means we are just controlling that by using on and off. Is it showing and hiding on true false? No, it is adding and removing. It is adding and removing that block dynamically. It is doing that. So here we remove, it will be removed. So we add, this will be added. For any product, second product, this is the detail of second product. Now I turn off, I don't want to see it. I on, then the detail of second one will come. Every product related description will be changing here. And you can turn off and you can turn on. That's what you can manage. Right? So this is basic how we can use ng if. So same previous example what we learned in last session. In that example, we added one extra facility. Actually, product description is present, which is defined in such a way that user can toggle it. User can on and off by adding and removing. For that, we have to use a simple ng if. So here, this is example for that I will give. This example is same last example. 3 files I will have to give here. Fake store only, na? Right? Yeah, fake store dot component dot ts. Let me copy it. Actually, in ts we have this all. One more contract also, huh? Because we created a fake store product contract now. Right? So here we need first one, fake store product contract. File name, yeah. Product contract.ts. In the fake store product contract, this is the contract. It is interface. Huh? So then fake store dot component dot ts. In the fake store component, this is the logic. One more is fake store dot component dot html. In html, this is the presentation. HTML, this is the presentation. One more we need. What is it? Fake store dot component dot css. Just the position I controlled for that description. Position fixed, left and top, where it should display, I handled that. This is the example we designed. That's the example we created. Now, here, generally you already know that if means there might be some else clause also. Am I right? Right? Here we are using only if. There might be, is there any else clause? That means actually, if it is not true, it is empty. It is not adding anything. That means if it is true, then only it is adding any content. Generally, what happens is, usually what happens when you are trying such design, such design. You see, you kept here some box. This box we kept for ads, okay, some advertisements. Now what happens is, here you given a close button. That means user can remove ads. When user removes ads, then what happens is, when user closes, it is removed, but that place is reserved for advertisements. Then I will put a message here. I will put a message here that I will say that ads here. Am I right? That means ads will come here. You closed it. It's okay. Right? That means you click again on that. It will show you that ad if you want. That means what happens is, if it is removed, then it should not be empty. Something else should be there. When it is displayed, it will display what it is having. If it is removed, it will display something alternative. For example, you written a logic like this. If condition, or say I am writing simply for your understanding, like, so if suppose pin is equal to some 333 something, then if it is matching, then we will put a message, so success. This message will come. I am not writing else. So if pin is success, it will complete. It will show success. If not, if pin is not success, then it will not do anything. If it is not doing anything, then confusion. At least it should say wrong. Right? It will work, no problem. But if it is not doing anything, then it is little confusion. Like, then we should say that, okay, if you entered wrong, I will put a wrong message. Is it necessary to put a wrong message? No, not necessary. But if you put, it is clean. So that means when condition is not satisfied, it is not necessary to put an alternative every time. But sometimes keeping an alternative will easily guide the user that this is what he is trying to do. That is the reason else, if and else clause. We should not call if and else statement, because else is not a statement. Else is considered as a clause. You should say if and else clause, not if and else statement. Only if is statement. Else is an clause. If and else clause have an alternative to display when condition is false. That you can do here also. We can do here. When condition is true, one. If condition is false, another. For example, what we want to display here is, suppose this is description. I am adding this HTML. I am adding this ngIf not to text area. I am adding the, not to this div. I am adding to text area. I am adding to text area. Now what happens is, so when user turns on, text area will come. Turns off, actually div is here only. Only text area is hidden. Then what we will do? We will remove text area and put an alternative message saying that description here. We will say that here description will come. Right? That means we reserved the place for description, but if he wants, he can see. But where he is going to get the description, we will alert him, saying that if you turn on description, it will come here. We will reserve a place, because we can't occupy the place given for any area in a website. You reserved an area for advertisement. That area is for advertisement. When advertisement is removed, you can't put your content there. That is not good, because later when advertisement come, it disturbs. That's the reason we reserve that place. So almost all websites you might have seen ads area, they will give an option to close, but still that place is reserved, right? So that is what actually we can do. So how to put an alternative? How you define an alternative? To define an alternative, actually, we have to write like this. Generally, you may learn some programming languages. So, like, what are the programming languages you have learned? Any idea? Java, C Sharp, .NET, like C, C++. They are all structural programming. All right? Right. Any idea of any procedural programming? That is pseudo procedure actually. Actual procedure oriented languages, the if conditions are little different. Means generally we write like this. If structural means a parenthesis, curly brace will be there, block will be there. This is structural approach actually. Procedure, if condition, then we will have. Then statements. What are the statements? We will have else. Then what are the statements? That means actually we use then to define the statements to execute when condition is true. Right? This is procedured approach. Generally, our Angular follows this kind of approach. In that case, what ngIf requires a then to render the block when condition is true. It requires an else to render the block which is false, true or false. On true or false, it needs then. To handle that, it needs then and else. That means actually we can write like this. That means we can configure like this syntactically. So here I will give a option. This is ngIf with alternative blocks. ngIf with alternative blocks, alternative block, right? That is what we have to define. What is an alternative block is nothing but the block to display when condition is false. Condition is false. That means alternative block refers to container that renders into page when condition is false. Condition is false. That is what actually if. Syntactically, generally, we write like this. We write like this. Asterisk ngIf. Here we have to write condition. Condition true or false. We will put a semicolon and we will write here then. We will put a then and we write then block ID. We have to refer then block ID. And we have to write else and we have to write else block ID. Else block ID. This is how we have to define. Now actually here there must be two blocks. One block for true, another block for false. Two blocks we have to define. Now again the problem comes. The problem is here. The problem is, are then and else statements? Then and else are not statements. Statement is only if. If is a statement. I told you already that else is a clause. So if ngIf is the statement and then and else are not statements, then and else cannot control your HTML. Or ngIf can control your HTML. That is already doing that. It is removing the block and adding the block. else and then, they cannot control your HTML. They cannot control your HTML. That means this then block and else block cannot be a HTML block, because they are not statements. They are just clauses. A clause cannot add or remove HTML elements. Only statement can do. So then block, else block cannot be a HTML block. If it is not HTML block, how to design a block? That means here very important is the then and else. Else keywords. Keywords actually, keywords refer to clauses. They refer to clauses. So they cannot control. That means they cannot control HTML blocks. HTML blocks. So hence you need to create a dynamic block in Angular by using ng template. We have to use ng template. We have to use ng template. That is what dynamic blocks. There are so many dynamic blocks which you will learn one by one. Currently, what is ng template? Ng template indicates a set of markup to render into page when the condition is matching or condition is not matching. That means the then block, the then and else, these cannot control HTML blocks. Then we have to control by using a dynamic block. Let's try that actually. First, I will show you how they can't control it, right? I will show you that. Let's see actually. So for that, what is the point here? Here I am writing. Now let's design some concept like this. So we have text area. See the text area. This is text area. I will put in one div. Okay. I will put in another div, a simple italic letters saying that description here. Am I right? Simple in italic letters I given description here. That is what the point. Now two divs are there now. Now this div have an ID hash reference. The div and ID as description. Am I right? Or we will use as details. Okay. Details is an ID. Okay. Or yes, I will give here another one, hash. This is nothing but suppose alternative. Am I right? Details alternative, just for your reference. Now I am writing a condition here in a div. What is the condition? What is it? ng if. ng if. What is the details? We have to get it from where? So we need to get it from which location? Toggle description. Toggle description. Description dot what? Value. It is a Boolean value. True or false. That is condition. Semicolon. That is the condition, semicolon. If condition true, then what we have to do? Then we have to refer to then block. What is the then block ID? Description. Just we have to give the name. Description. Am I right? Description. I am writing like this. And else what it is? Else which one to display? Alternative. This is what we need to display. That means if condition is matching, description block will come. If not matching, alternative block will come. Now see the error here. It says that So description does not exist in fake store. Huh? Suppose I given details here. I will give details. Details is to display. Now you see now then and else have a problem. What is the problem? Then says HTML div element is not assignable to ng if. Am I right? It says that HTML element is not assignable. We are trying to assign a HTML element to this. Details is a HTML element now. It is not assignable because it's not a statement, it's a clause. It cannot independently write. Can you write else individually? It is a clause of if. So generally many people say if and else statement. That's wrong. If and else not statement, only if is statement. Else is clause. So technically you should say if and else clause, not if and else statements. If statement, okay. Right? That means then and else are clauses. They can't work directly. Then Angular cannot render them. Then what we have to do? Change this div to what? ng template. I am changing to ng template. This also what it is? ng template. Now details is okay. Now else have problem. It says that it also cannot assign. Am I right? This also I have to change to what? ng template. And here I need to change this to ng template. And you can see now here you can see it says description here. Right? But actually it should show there because the container is there now. That means we need to put the container. Turn on, then it will come here. Right? I will remove here because I changed the point, right? So what happens now? Lot of content is changed now. Lot of content is changed. This area description you are writing, right? Inside this class, fake store class, we are using description, right? But what happens is it is not going to display here. Why it is not going to display here? Because now in that again several blocks are defined. We are configuring again several blocks. So we will do one thing. We have to change little approach now. That means presentation style we need to change. You don't need this class actually. What you need to do here is just we will remove this because this is also condition. This condition, this area, all must be kept at one place. Understood? Right? That means previous only description you are giving, it is not satisfied. Remove that part. Oh. ng template. Yeah. I will remove this area. Cut it. Okay. I will keep in a separate location. First, I will make some divisions here. Div class is row. In this div, the class is col. And here also div. This is another col. Two columns I am giving. And in this column, the next content is there. In the first column, these will be there. Okay. We are dividing into two columns. Huh? So this we will be defined in that column. We are dividing that there. Just it is nothing but we are keeping that in two columns. That means we are defining here. Description is here, right? That's just adding the description there. Now here where it is, this is the row, columns and all. These are the product details. And what we will do, we will add this one. Description is column here. Am I right?
Recording stopped.
Oh.
Recording in progress.
Yes. Okay. Now what we will do is here, I will just keep some area. Actually, this all container margin top as what, some 4 or 5, 4. That's fine. It's okay. Now you turn on the description, it will come here. If you remove the description, hide, then you can see it is hidden. Then it puts a message there. What is it? Description here. This is an alternative block. That's an alternative block. I just created one paragraph. So italic we given. You can give a box with height so that box is visible. In that box, you can keep center, anything you can do. That means I just kept a description. Where I kept it? A simple italics. That means actually it can be in a div. For that we can define style. So width as some 300 or 200. So we have some height as some 200. So border as 1 pixel. So solid or say dotted, and suppose black or black or gray I will give. Like this we are defining, then we can just keep that border. Right, we will add some padding also there. So padding as 20 pixel. Then it will have some gap around that. Height, width, your wish, you can control that. Now when I turn on, it will display description. Again, it will display like this. That is your wish, how you want to control that. So do you want an alternative thing to happen? Then how you can define an alternative? By using else, right? So how do we control that? By using this. So here we need to refer the syntax like this. How to configure syntax div? We have to use what? Ng if, here true, then we have to use then what? Then block, and else what? Else block. That's how we need to render. Then how to design those blocks? We have to use ng templates. Its ID is what? Then block, and here so on true. Am I right? And ng template. Another one is what? So ng template. We have to design another template. What it is? Else block. You can give any idea. You can give any ID. Else block, this will be displayed on false. It will be displayed on false. That is ng template. Like this we can configure. Now on true, it will display true block, else, that is then block. On false, it will display else. Right? Now here, hierarchy problems also will come. Sometimes you people while designing, what you do is, so this is the condition. So generally some people, while because due to some hierarchical misunderstanding, you keep these templates inside the div. Understood? That means you will think like in the div, when true this will be there, false it will be there. Remember, these templates cannot be inside the if container. Understood? Outside the if container. They cannot be inside the if container. If container should have only conditions. Right? Inside them, don't try to put templates. So that means you have to write this condition. We have condition. You have to write this condition in a separate div. After that div finished, then you write your blocks. Don't try to put these template blocks inside the div container where you have written the condition. That means I will give a better note here is, so the dynamic templates are defined by using what? Ng templates. The dynamic templates must be outside the condition block. Understood? Outside the condition block. They cannot be inside the condition block. If they are inside condition block, again, they will not work. These are some basic rules you need to follow. Now many times people ask the question like, sir, in general we have else if na, else if, how many alternatives? You can have 3-4 alternatives. Can we have such multiple alternatives here? No, no. There can be only one then and only one else. Then when you go to Angular interviews, they ask this question particularly for experienced people. They ask that, so will ngif supports multiple alternatives? ngif will not support multiple alternatives. Then how you will present multiple alternatives? I want multiple alternatives. Then how? By default, multiple alternatives are not possible. That means else if is not there, either then or else. Then how you can manage multiple blocks as alternative blocks? Multiple blocks as alternative blocks. You can have multiple blocks as alternative blocks. And for that true condition, how we can manage that is by using a technique called content projection. This is a very high level concept. Content projection is a concept which is not discussed for general freshers actually, but we will try, we will discuss this. Why? Because at experience level, this question is very common for people in Angular, right? Content projection, many people even don't know this word who already know Angular, right? But at experience level, this is a very high level concept, and it is very regularly used in real world development process. Then what is this content projection? How this content projection works, we will see. By using content projection, what we can achieve? We can have multiple alternatives. Condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, like that we can manage. But it is not officially directly available with ng if. We need to implement some new technique into this, that is called content projection. What is content projection and how it works, that we'll see in tomorrow's session. Okay, na? Don't miss tomorrow's session. This is very, very important concept, right? You will be confused if you miss tomorrow's concept, because it will continue for few other points, right? This is very important topic, right? Tomorrow will continue, right?